G'day Chris, Trent here from Sydney, Australia. Another somewhat expected result. I just feel like our luck has to turn soon. And I think what's coming up in the next month, we've got some pretty super important games. I'd rather now say that the league's done and dusted, and the difference between coming 15th and 12th and 9th is really inconsequential. I think the fact we're still in these cups is important. And I think the bad luck has to be sort of, considered with all that's going on at the moment. There's a million things going on behind the scenes, and who's to blame for it all? Is it Levy? Is it Enoch? Is it Ange? I think it's a combination of many things. I think Ange's system and philosophy and style of play it just can't work with the players he has now. It's just, with Romero and Van de Ven both being out, their ability to mop up a lot of the mess and the positional issues that we have with Porro especially can't be underestimated. And Porro today for me was out of position so many times, and that simple diagonal ball over the top of everyone to a free player on the left, when Porro's just stuck in no man's land, just shows me that Porro's positioning without really strong centre backs next to him is super questionable. Archie Gray's playing fantastic, but the kid's 18 years old. He's a midfielder playing at centre back. It's just an embarrassment of issues at the moment. I'm still Ange in all the way. I feel like if we can get over this hurdle, once things start going our way, I really think the ship can be turned. And I think it's not as far off as a lot of people think. And I know it's all doom and gloom, and we're a somewhat reactive fan base at the best of times. But I really think that the amount of shit that's gone on with this club in recent times has to eventually turn around. And I think if we've got the balls to stick with it, I think it's going to pay dividends. Come on, you Spurs.
Hi, my name is Matt. I'm from New Jersey, and here are my thoughts about today's match against Wolves. We didn't play well. We didn't deserve to win. We missed way too many chances on the counter when we should have scored. We allowed them way too much, especially in that second half. We kind of went one-dimensional with our way of play. It seemed like we were going long, and on a few occasions we were able to break out with that and set up our press. It was nice in that first half. I saw that we were mixing play up. We were building out at times, and we were hitting it long at times, which was nice because then you could set up the press correctly, which was good, which is exactly what I would have liked to see. You just can't go one way. Then in the second half, I don't know if that was a tactical thing, if it was on the players, if it was on Ange, but we just went long every time, it seemed. And that kind of allowed Wolves to build a game plan around that and react to that. So, although we did have some chances, which we should have converted, and probably the tone of this synopsis would be a little different, but we didn't convert those chances. We allowed them to get into dangerous positions, get into, to create chances. And eventually they took one, and they deserved the equalizer. To be honest, they probably deserved all 3 points. We did not, we played very naive as a team, from a player standpoint. I just don't understand how you could play like that, knowing that you can't, that you have to kill teams off. So the only criticism I'll give to Ange is, you maybe about the 75th, 80th minute, you bring on another body. That's about it, just for fresh legs and all that. I hope all the Ange fans like me are strapped in for the next 6 days, because it's going to be nonstop media coverage about how Ange is terrible and his methods don't work and the players don't like his training methods and blah, 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 blah. We've read this all. It's just Levy trying to distract us. Again, this is all resting on Levy's doorstep. It should always be, but again, for today's result on the pitch. That is on the players. They should have done better. So, whatever. Roll on next year. Happy New Year, Spurs fans. Hopefully we got something nice coming in January. Fingers crossed. All right. I'll see you later.
Hello, Chris. Jim Brentar here from the USA, and I'm sad, angry, frustrated, depressed. That first goal we conceded wasn't anybody's fault. Johnson was going out to pick up Hwang when he was knocked to the ground. It should have been a foul. It should have been disallowed, and I don't blame anybody but the referee. The second goal we conceded, however, I'm sure, Chris, you know the 3 rules for excellent defense. Block every shot, block every cross, do not allow any passes into dangerous areas. Unfortunately, Kulusevski gave Ait-Nouri enough room and enough time that he could pick out a pass like that. Kulusevski has to go out there and stop him from doing that. He gave him too much room and time. I can't blame Kulusevski too much, and there are others who could have done more. I mean, Dragusin, Gray, and Reguilon were not in a perfectly straight line. I don't know whether Dragusin stepped up too far or whether Gray and Reguilon should have stepped up with him. And also, Forster probably could have rushed out at the shooter instead of staying on his line. That might have done something, but Kulusevski is the main culprit, and I can't blame him too much. You know why? Because he's been playing twice a week a lot of minutes. He needs a rest. Dragusin has been playing pretty much 90 minutes twice a week. He needs a rest. Son needs a rest. A perfectly healthy, fit, and fresh Son makes that penalty kick. Of course, I can't blame Ange too much. He has not too many options to go with, but still, it's frustrating. And the most frustrating and depressing thing about it, it's not that we didn't win the game. It's not how we failed to win the game. It's that this is going to encourage all of the Ange out idiots. You can edit this down if you want, Chris, but let me read you a list of names real quick. David Moyes, Ryan Giggs, Louis van Gaal, Jose Mourinho, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Michael Carrick, Ralph Ragnick, Eric Ten Hag, Ruben Amorim. That's all of Manchester United's managers since Alex Ferguson left. Few of them got more than 2 years, and even though it's not much more than 2 years. What has that revolving door of managers done for them? Let's hear another list of names. Roberto Martinez, David Unsworth, Ronald Koeman, Sam Allardyce, Marco Silva, Duncan Ferguson, Carlo Ancelotti, Rafa Benitez, Frank Lambert, Sam Dyche. That's everyone who's managed Everton since David Moyes left. What has that gotten them? Look at Wolves. Ever since Nuno left, they've had a consistent revolving door of managers. Where has that gotten them? And finally, let's talk Tottenham Hotspur. Since Pochettino got fired, we've had the constant revolving door of managers. What has it gotten us? No, we got to back Ange. We got to keep Ange, but we also got to back him in the transfer window, get us some reinforcements. I hope I haven't gone too long. Come on, you Spurs.
Hey Chris, it's Terry from New York checking in after the Wolves game. So, given the number of injuries and the number of minutes in the legs of those who played, I'd say it was a pretty valiant effort on the most part of most of the players. Leading the way once again was Kulusevski. I feel like he and Slinky were really the only ones with any creative ideas and positive impetus. Kulusevski's interplay and assist to Johnson for the second goal was really beautiful. Bentancur was strong throughout the game, and it looks like he's really back to match fitness. Of course, it's just a shame that he got that yellow card right at the end of the game. He's going to be out against Newcastle. I thought Gray and Dragusin were both really solid once again. A special acknowledgement to Dragusin for playing through with a bum ankle, although I'm really worried about what the long-term ramifications of that might mean. I thought Pedro Porro had a really good game. It was really nice to see a couple of consistent, dangerous crosses come in. The first one, which led to Bentancur's goal. In terms of the not so positive, I think our left wing was virtually non-existent. As ineffective as Werner was, I thought Son was even worse. So seeing Mateus Cunha on the other side in the first half, both on defense and with the ball, was such a stark contrast and really highlighted kind of what Son and Werner just aren't offering us at the moment. Maddison came in, again, didn't do much. The lack of consistency in form of our two captains right now is really representative of the Spurs results this season. Finally, just another defender down and another hamstring injury, this time Udogie. And most likely this is a compounding effect of the number of injuries and the minutes that we've had so far, but I have to question the physios and the medical staff here. Spurs aren't the only team that run a lot. Spurs aren't the only team that make a lot of sprints. Yet the number of major ankle injuries, hamstring injuries, thigh injuries that we have seem to be multiples that of any other team. Overall, a tie is probably a fair result here. We limp on to Newcastle. Come on, you Spurs.
Hi, my name is Harry Scarf, football content creator and YouTuber, founder of Scarfy Spurs Talk from England. My thoughts on the game are, I think that's a bad result, and I think that increases pressure on Ange Postecoglou. I think it'll be okay, but increased pressure. I think we expected to win this game coming into it. I think it was a must-win game. I think it was a 6-pointer. All these things. Wolves obviously 17th coming into the start of the day. But we've now dropped points against teams that have been in 17th, 18th, and 19th position. We haven't won a home game now in 5 games, as the stadium was built to be a fortress. So that is disappointing, and only won 2 of our last 9 Premier League games. But there are positives in there, more from individual performances. I thought Solanke, excellent shift again today, but I worry that we're running him into the ground and that he won't get the service he needs or deserves. But big shift for him today. You can clearly see why we bought him, why we paid that money. Because it was big cash, but I think it's absolutely worth it. Archie Gray, of course, once again, I thought done well. As centre back, some people will say got quite out of position for that second goal, maybe, but for me, he's just doing an excellent job at centre back out of position. Doggy obviously did get, by the way, just what I think of it, an injury, hamstring injury. I think it's no coincidence getting these hamstring injuries. I think they're made worse by what happens in training, the system, the high line. But I do think also so many games. We didn't do enough in the last summer window. We haven't had that luxury to rotate, to rest. This is what's happened. So as Ange said, the doggy's been sacrificed, and that is on the ownership and the board, the whole recruitment team for not doing enough in the summer. But also, there's just so many games with the new European format, but that's bad planning, so we did know about that. But moving on to still positive, Kulusevski, I thought pulled the strings for us again today. Where would we be without him? Exceptional player. We've got to commit him like Chelsea do. Long-term contracts. We've got to keep him at the club. Another positive is Johnson. I thought had a really good game. Won the penalty. Got that second goal. Kulusevski deserves big credit for the second goal. With his movement, with his cutback to pick Johnson out, but still that's not a simple finish. But yeah, it does feel like a loss. It's very frustrating, but a great start to life for Victor Pereira and Wolves. But I don't really know where we go for this. I think we still need to be behind Ange. It's back him in January, but this will result already increased pressure on him because we are back. We turned over at times in that second half against Wolves. But that are my thoughts. You can check me out at HarryScarf22 across all socials. Thank you for this opportunity.
Good morning, Melvin from Malta, discussing the Tottenham 2, Wolves 2. A draw, which is not the worst result in the world, even though it felt like a defeat. What can I say about yesterday? Yesterday, the positives were, Bentancur, I thought, had an excellent game. Archie Gray had a really good game. Tom Solanke, showed that he's a really good Premier League player. Pressed, did everything really, really well. The only thing he was missing was a goal. Kulusevski playing really well this season. Continues. Disappointing that we keep conceding silly goals. Yeah, Wolves scored 2 good goals from chances that we should be either blocking or getting someone to clear. I don't think we are as bad as our league position at the moment. I think the injuries don't help. We really needed that victory for the squad, for the morale. And we move on to Newcastle. Disappointed that Bentancur is suspended for the next game. We cannot get any rhythm, any consistency, any real. Every time one player comes back, it seems another one goes missing. You know, now we're missing Udogie and Bentancur, which is disappointing. Postecoglou is under pressure. I think he needs to answer many questions put by the fans, by the media, and he needs to answer them on the pitch. What can I say as a fan? Obviously, I didn't go to the game. A lot of fans went to the game, always sold out. They are the ones that are really angry at the moment. I was at home. I was still angry, but I think the match-going fans deserve more. I think we pay one of the highest season tickets match-going. It's very expensive, and we deserve more. We deserve better, and we need players for the now, which is clear. Looking on to the new year, hopefully the team starts to perform a bit better in the attacking and the defending parts of the game. If we only keep more clean sheets, I think we'll get more points on the board. The amount of clean sheets we've kept this season is sad, you know, to be frank, with the players we have. And yeah, I look forward to the new year. All the best. Come on, you Spurs.